Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to my channel. The music thumped softly under the buzz of voices, a subtle beat behind the clinking glasses, and bursts of laughter filling the packed living room. From the outside, it probably looked like the perfect night. Friends gathered, wine flowing, warmth and energy in every space. But to me, it was just another act. Another night where my wife Clara slipped effortlessly into her favorite role, the flawless hostess. She thrived on it. Her laugh just slightly exaggerated. Her stories magnetic. Her charm effortless. Everyone adored her. And for years, I stood right beside her, smiling when required, nodding on cue, pretending our life was just as polished as everyone assumed. But that night, something inside me finally snapped. For months, I'd noticed her subtle shifts. Her phone suddenly locked behind a new password. Late night, work calls that didn't match any schedule she ever had. The way her touch became distant, mechanical, rehearsed. I kept telling myself I was imagining it, trying to quiet that gnawing suspicion that what we once shared was already gone. I knew the closeness had become nothing but performance. So when she leaned in during the party, wine glass in her hand, smile glowing like always, and tried to kiss me for everyone watching, I pulled back. It wasn't dramatic, but it was intentional. And the reaction was instant. Her smile faltered. Her eyes widened. And just for a second, the woman everyone adored looked caught off guard, fragile even. Not tonight. I whispered. My voice was steady. But those two words cut through the noise around us. She laughed it off, flipping her hair and pretending like it meant nothing. But I saw the fear behind her eyes. She realized in that moment, I wasn't playing along anymore. The rest of the night was haze. She wouldn't meet my eyes, but I could feel the anger boiling under her perfect exterior. Our friends kept talking as if nothing was wrong, while I stood among them knowing something fundamental had changed forever. I wasn't going to be her prop anymore. The attention she fed off could have her, but I was done pretending. Those two quiet words were the beginning of the end. When we got home to our place on Cedar Drive in Charlotte, the silence between us was suffocating. Clara stormed into bedroom, heels echoing against the floor, spinning around with fury burning in her eyes. "What was that supposed to be?" she demanded. "Do you even realize how you made me look in front of everyone?" Her anger said everything. It wasn't about us. It was about optics, about her perfect image. I leaned against the doorway, watching her pace, and for the first time, I didn't feel sorry. I wasn't guilty. I was calm. "You're worried about how you looked," I said evenly, "but you haven't cared how I felt in a very long time." She stopped, opened her mouth to speak, and nothing came out. "I'm tired of being the husband you parade around at parties," I continued quietly. "I'm tired of pretending everything is fine, while you keep secrets I'm not supposed to notice." Her jaw tightened, but she stayed silent. That silence wasn't confusion. It was confirmation. It had been over long before tonight. I just finally stopped playing the part. She didn't deny anything. She didn't even try to create a story. Instead, she tried to twist it into my fault. "You've changed," she whispered. "You don't pay attention to me anymore. What did you expect me to do?" It was confession wrapped in cowardice. Something inside me gave out right there. Not anger, not heartbreak, just exhausted acceptance. The marriage I fought for had already died. She just never expected me to admit that reality out loud. "I expected you to be faithful," I said, voice steady. Apparently, that was too much. She turned away, grabbing her phone off the nightstand. Her hands were trembling. I didn't need to see the screen to know exactly why. Pulling away in that living room wasn't about denying a kiss. It was about refusing to keep feeding her illusion. Then came the aftermath. The days that followed were colder than any winter I've ever lived through. Clara acted like nothing had changed online, posting happy pictures, showing up to events in downtown Phoenix with that same polished smile. But at home, the silence grew thick and heavy. She felt it too. The cracks were too wide to hide. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just disconnected. And that silence rattled her more than rage ever could. One night, I placed the divorce papers on the kitchen table. No speech. No dramatic confrontation. Just a truth that had been waiting far too long. "You can't be serious," she whispered. "You're ending everything over nothing?" "Nothing," I repeated. "You ended everything the second you chose deceit over honesty. This marriage didn't end today. It ended the day you stopped being true." Her confidence crumbled. She cried, begged, tried soft touches and desperate kisses, but I already saw the person behind the act. The woman I loved wasn't there anymore. In her place was someone addicted to attention more than loyalty. The divorce happened fast. The friends who once idolized her charm began whispering. The rumors sliced through her image. The late nights, the hidden messages, the mask she worked so hard to maintain, it shattered while she fought to keep her reputation intact. I discovered something real. Peace. I moved into a small apartment on Riverwalk Lane in Minneapolis. Nothing extravagant, just enough and fully mine. For the first time in years, I could breathe without forcing it. I reconnected with old friends. I rebuilt myself piece by piece. Every day away from her felt like sunlight after a storm that lasted far too long. Meanwhile, Clara's world shrank. The men she chased lost interest once the fantasy faded. The parties shriveled. The compliments stopped coming. Her mask cracked beyond repair. She had lost the only person who ever stood beside her, and she knew it. Sometimes the strongest revenge isn't screaming or breaking things. It's simply walking away. At that party, when she leaned in for that performative kiss, she wanted her image to stay alive. Instead, I gave her reality.